People, Deluded, I'm back again. Thank you very much for watching, rocking and tuning in with my stuff. Now, Arsenal, Saturday, I'm going to be at the Emirates. Arsenal versus Wolves, 5th versus 12th, 3 o'clock kickoff, English time, Greenwich Mean Time, I believe it's referred to as. We need to win. Now, if you watch my content on a regular basis, how many times have I said we need to win and get back to winning ways? And we don't do that. Similar to last season, 3rd and 4th are kind of up there for grabs, and I don't want to say nobody's kind of making a claim for it, because Chelsea are doing their thing right now and we're not there because Leicester are playing extremely well. But it seems like it's achievable for a number of clubs, and we're finding a way not to convincingly make a stake for it ourselves, because Arsenal fans, obviously, with the summer we had, and there was a point people were talking like Arsenal was a shoo-in for the top 4, and because of the week we've had, or recent Premier League games we've had, losing at Sheffield United, drawing after being in the lead 2-0 against Crystal Palace. These are not the performances or the game management of sides or players that want to win top 4 want to get into the top 4, people, and do things of that nature and win trophies. It's not. Some of that, a lot of it is down to coaching. I'm not going to harp on about the issues I have with EMERY'S coaching currently at the moment, but the players have got to do better also, and they've got to pull themselves out of it. It is kind of doom and gloom in the sense of the results have been poor, there's been crap things that have happened on the field that are making talking points. Obviously, you've seen, but we can't feel sorry for ourselves. At the end of the day, we lost. We are going to drop more points this season. It's going to happen realistically. We're not going to go unbeaten and win every game from now till May. We can't feel sorry for ourselves. We're 5th. There's still something to play for at this moment in time. We can't go any higher than our league position, I believe, because of us dropping points. But we need to kind of start our season again, ironically, against Wolves. Now, Wolves obviously drew this fixture last year against us, and they, forgive me if I'm wrong, we lost away from them. So similar to Palace, they got 4 points off us last season. And it was poor. Obviously, we need to improve against the top 6, but it was the games against Palaces, the Leicester away, the Wolves games like Southampton, games like this where you need to go out there and win, where they're not going to make it easy for yourself. No disrespect to them, sides you could say are smaller sides, failing to go out there and do it. And it's almost Arsenal are still an open book and teams know how to play us. You be tough to break down 2 banks of 4. You try and exploit our set pieces or our defending at set pieces, whether you're necessarily a set piece side or not. Apologies. You know the typical stuff, people. We need to get back to things. Now, Wolves, you could say they've not been brilliant this season. They sit 12th. Within reason, you would have thought Wolves would have been the team to kick on and be doing what Leicester's doing to a fair degree, because of the ambition you're hearing, because Nuno is a good manager. They obviously did well to get Europa and whatnot last year. They've had a tough time so far, really and truly. They've obviously beat Manchester City. When last did we beat City, let alone keep a clean sheet? So shout out to them for their clean sheets. But I think they've conceded in 7 of their 10 Premier League games so far. So similar to us, both teams can't defend, can't keep a clean sheet, which would make you believe both teams probably have a goal in them at the Emirates, and it'd probably be a case of Arsenal needing to outscore the other team. Football's a simple game, so it is that. But yeah, obviously I want to go out there, like the first 5-10 minutes against Palace, go out there, actually start strong, but the difference is game management. Walk away with the 3 points, people. Just look at the statistics, people. We have failed to win despite holding a 2-goal lead in 3 of our last 11 matches. Before that, it only happened twice in 370 matches. So is that down to the coaching? Is that down to the players? That's for you lot to answer, people. Obviously, this week, both teams suffered defeat in the Carabao Cup. Now, shout out to Wolves because they've got some good players. I like Pedro Neto, just before he obviously signed for them. They've got, what's that guy, man? Chem Campbell, I believe he made his debut. Welsh Youth International. He looks fairly decent. So shout out to them. But both teams are out of the cup. You could argue, like I said, both teams are incredibly underperforming at this moment in time. So it is what it is. We need to go out there. We need to go out there and win. We're going to get onto the tactics and the players in a sec, people, because it is what it is, people. The only saving grace is that Spurs dropped points last week, but Chelsea are looking incredibly strong, people. Regardless of Spurs dropping points, if you had to back Arsenal or Spurs for top 4, sad to say, and it kills me, I'll always back my team Arsenal, but you'd have to say Spurs based on previous season evidence, people. So we need to get back to winning ways. There's really not much more to say on that. Let me look at the stats that Google threw up, or Insights as it calls it. After winning their 6 Premier League games against them, Arsenal have won just 1 of their last 4 against Wolves in the competition, losing 1 and drawing 3, after failing to beat them in either game last season. Wolves' 3-1 win against Arsenal in April ended a run of 16 games without victory against Arsenal. They last won consecutive top-flight games against them in September 1979, which was a 3-game run. And Wolves are travelling quite well on the road to London, to be fair. It says Wolves are unbeaten in their last 7 Premier League games in London, winning 3, drawing 4, since losing to Fulham 5-0 in 2012. It's their longest run since 1974, people. Arsenal haven't lost at home at 3 p.m. on a Saturday since opening day of the 13-14 season, where we lost 3-1 to Aston Villa, drawing 2 and winning 20 since then. Arsenal have only led by more than 1 goal in 2 of their 10 Premier League games this season, with the Gunners being pegged back to a 2-2 draw in both those matches. So not only do we have a problem smelling blood and scoring multiple goals, let alone scoring goals, we obviously have issues defensively. We can sit here and bang on about it being personnel, but someone's been here for 15 months and there's not much more I can say, people. I want Emery to do well, but the team is stressing me out. So we might as well move on to the lineup now. Just before we crack on about that, the toughest decision I'm having in regards to this is Martinelli and Bellerin, people. Now, I want to look at the Martinelli one with a bit of logic, because we'll get onto it because I don't want to be doing bits and both. But Martinelli now, why I say logic is because it's difficult to ignore him playing Premier League football. He's earned it, people. I don't know for his injury. I think he had a wrist injury from what I saw on Google. I don't know, people, but I don't want to look at the hype and his great performance and throw him into this and disregarding the fact that he's young and we not know, he's still developing and all of these things. And would it be the best thing tactically? I think Martinelli deserves to start. There's not really any issue. But when I'm saying this, I'm also asking myself, am I saying the wrong thing? So Martinelli is probably the toughest decision. I think Lacazette looked a bit rusty. I think Lacazette, having not played midweek, he was supposed to come on. I don't think he came on. I could be wrong. Having not played midweek, would probably start. Pepe, you want him to kind of play through his form. Could Pepe come out for Martinelli? Could we go with 4-3-3 with 3 forwards, potentially, with players all rotating and quickly, people? You could have, if we just went with a front 3, let's say Aubameyang through the middle first. You could have Lacazette and Martinelli or whatever. Then obviously in game, Aubameyang would likely pull out there. You'd have Lacazette dropping. Martinelli's got space. You could have rotation. Like you see when Ozil's played with Martinelli, people. Ozil's like here, but they press together. So could that be something, and leave Lacazette out and go with Pepe? That's the toughest decision I'm personally battling with, people. But away from that, the first one I was going to say is the right back spot. Now, Bellerin, better performance against Liverpool than in his previous game. Still looks a bit rusty. Do I feel 100% convinced that I feel ready to throw him out there and resume his Arsenal first team career consistently? I'm not too sure. I think he'll be ready after this week, but do I feel 100% sure now? I'm not too sure, people. I'm not going to lie to you lot. Chambers on a large part of the season has been alright. On one hand, watching the Palace game again, I don't think he was bad, but on the same time, he obviously conceded the pen. His end product weren't quite good enough, and it was one of his worst games in the recent run he's had in the Arsenal team, or since coming back. So there is the case for him coming out. I'm going to go with Bellerin, people. I'm going to go with Bellerin, probably. So we might as well talk about the lineup. For me, I'm going to go with Tierney. Leno picks himself. I'm going to go with Tierney. I would have said Holding. I'm a big fan of Holding, but I feel based on the Liverpool game, I know the centre-halves I'm about to name have played poorly as well, but Holding, sit this one out, bench thing, come back again, unless he's shown something in training. But I'm going to go with Luiz and Socrates. Got to show me something. Tierney, Bellerin gets the nod for me. Midfield, obviously I don't even want to harp on about Xhaka. That's the elephant in the room. Xhaka is not involved for me. He's more than welcome to watch the game in the box or be part of the team and watch it from the dugout and whatnot. But would it be the wisest of decisions for him to be at the dugout or visible for fans? I'm not too sure. With social media, someone will catch him going in or out of the stadium or being there, but safety first and foremost. You know, some fans take things over the top. You don't want to put Xhaka in a situation where potentially his safety can be compromised, especially in today's day and age, because at the end of the day, there is obviously security and things like that, but there's always one slime ball that takes things too far, so security. And obviously, I'm trying to speak away from me, just for what he did, Xhaka. Fans weren't right entirely as well, but he's not involved. We've got to think about with safety. And for me, we don't need the Xhaka. Xhaka is going to cloud until the team sheet comes out and Xhaka is not involved. Even then, it's going to be the main talking point. We know this, but I don't feel the players need it. I know the players we hear, they want to stick behind Xhaka and whatnot, but I don't think it's healthy for players to go when we need to get our season back on track, playing against Wolves, to be hearing the Xhaka noises. I think the club have got to brief any players talking in media like I think they will. Xhaka is going to be a major talking point. I just want to focus on the game. So I'm going to go with Traore, who should be there. Guendouzi, Mesut Ozil. We'll get onto up front, but why I'm going with this specifically, people, is because obviously we make their wing backs. If Wolves go with three at the back like you've seen, and defensively they're doing something like this, people, and what you could see in the game is obviously they've got two up front, but you'd likely have a striker drop. We need someone to break the lines, people. If it's a game which, just based on Wolves' current form, again, the obvious is they should come out, have a go at us, exploit set pieces, do all the things that they haven't been doing, do it against Arsenal. We know that, people. But just based on how, if they are going to sit back and just looking at Arsenal, that our home form is better than our away form, if you can say that, and just how games are going to go, there's going to be a point where they're going to be stuck in, they're going to be penned in, and they're going to be difficult to break down. Now, I love Traore and I love Guendouzi. They're both better expansively than people give them credit for, but it's not their skill set. I would tell both of them to attempt to break the lines in this game and try and play that pass. There's also a case of, I know his form is iffy, but playing Ceballos and Mesut Ozil, because people will break the lines and whatnot, and we're about to get onto it. But what you don't want to happen, people, is they're doing this and there's no one that's removed Ozil. There's no one that can break the lines, because you're going to have Adama, you're going to have Martinelli or whoever you want, and whoever you want out there. They're all going to get frustrated. There's going to be no moves. They're going to hit it to Adama like you see, and he's by himself. Lacazette's going to come deep, and if Laka and Ozil and these players there are in these positions, people, you don't mind that as an opposition fan, because then, apologies, they're not in areas they can affect your team. If he plays it down the flanks now, he might get in, but there's enough to deal with that in theory. So I would like Mesut Ozil to try and break the lines and whatnot. Let these... Apologies, people. Let's actually get the third midfielder. I want Mesut Ozil to try and break the lines, because obviously, whatever you say about Ozil, he knows how to find his teammates, and Lacazette and Aubameyang like playing with him. And obviously, he's got Pepe. I don't feel the creative burden should just be on him to break the lines, because we need Bearman to try and play them passes. But at the same time, that's his skill set. If you're a manager and you look at all your squad and what you have skill sets, and based on how the game could potentially be, then you throw Mesut Ozil in there. I mentioned Ceballos, people, potentially, if either midfielder doesn't feel like trying that, because what you don't want to see and what you typically happen is, like I just said, you don't want the creative burden to be on Ozil, because Ozil might get frustrated, because Ozil's not going to win no duels. So Ozil, if you're not going to, someone's going to need to play him. Firstly, someone's going to need to play these passes forward, so Ozil can connect with these lot. You don't want, obviously at times Ozil drops deep and he finds pockets for others to exploit, but you don't want Ozil picking it off the centre halves when they're playing out, or the midfielder that's coaching here. Because it's not always going to be a case of Ozil playing that sick, sublime YouTube pass. It's not going to be that. You want Ozil in a position where he can harm people. And obviously, a lot of that, people, is going to boil down to what the pivot does. Now, Guendouzi's got it, but I don't feel Emirates telling them consistently to do it. They're going to need to break these lines themselves and try and play them. Which is why I thought, Ceballos, could he go out there? He's obviously missed the penalty. There's question marks over if he can be a signing for us to help us for a year. Come out here with a point to prove, playing that pivot. Him and Ozil connect with each other. The front three go and do their thing and try and pin Wolves back. Because I know I've spoken about it indirectly, people. And I keep moving these because it's hard for me to see, so it's a better reference point for me personally. What we haven't spoken about, people, is this man here. Adama Traore. Now, if you've been watching, he's kind of been fair to say a revelation, or he's found a role for himself as a right wing back at Wolves. And to be fair, it makes perfect sense. There's question marks over his ability to get goals and assists. He did it and showed it against City, but the end product isn't there. But 1v1, you don't want to go with him. You don't want to go with him, people. He's an attacker. He's playing at fullback, at wing back, but he's a thingy by trade, a midfielder by trade. What you don't want to do is have nothing going out here and encouraging him to go forward, because like you see with Monreal's been savage. Now I back Tierney, but you don't want it tactically, regardless of how good you think Tierney is. With that being said, you don't want that. You don't want him putting in crosses for if they go. I don't know if Wolves are going to go with a midfielder there and sort of, you know, a thing like that, or if Wolves truthfully are going to go with 2 strikers. But for me, if their wing back is getting service and going forward and getting 1v1s, you want him putting in balls for Jimenez and things and exploiting. Does it make sense? Cross the ball, set pieces, Jimenez. You see, it makes sense, people. So that's what we've got to be wary. We've got to be very wary of that for me. So I do have a bit of thinking for me, people. I'm thinking. With that being said, like I said, I want Aubameyang and these guys there to link up, and primarily I want Aubameyang central, stressing out these 3 centre-halves. Because what you don't want is no focal point, and these centre-halves, if it's 3 at the back, they've only got 1 done, and they're encouraged to play out from the back, because they're experienced individuals, defenders, they'll tell their guys, nah man, we got it covered. Adama, obviously defend, but go a bit forward, man. You don't want that to happen. Which is why, to a degree, I think, should we play Lacazette through the middle? He's not a goal scorer like Aubameyang, but he's more of a physical presence. And then you got kind of, do you make Aubameyang do a job out here, because at least, or rotate out there, because at least if he's out there, as quick and as strong as Adama is, common sense would tell you, hey yo, this guy's quick as well. I need to like not go forward, sort of thing, and that would discourage that, and then things can exploit. But then again, I feel Martinelli deserves to start, people. He deserves to start. In the same way Xhaka got his chance and deserves to start, I feel Martinelli deserves to start. Lacazette in the last game, fair enough, he's coming back from injury, didn't look the best. So I'm having a difficult decision with the front 3, people. I feel the only Don that picks himself is obviously... The only guy that picks himself is obviously my man, Aubameyang, because he's scoring goals. I don't want to drop Pepe though, man. But I want to play Laka, and I think Laka's going to play. Do you know what? Laka, I love you, but I'm going to go Martinelli, Aubameyang, Pepe. Now, Pepe, show me something. Martinelli, I love you, but I can't remember the game, but there was a game you was not helping Tierney on the left-hand side and he was getting stressed out. You've got to help through there. Or do we do a thing like that where we just make them 2 press, Ozil feed them, man? He probably could go with Ceballos out there like he's done in a couple of games where Ceballos is centre mid, but he's there. Who knows, man? Who knows? But personally, you know what? Let me not overcomplicate it. Let me start again. Leno, Tierney, Socrates and Luiz, Bellerin, Guendouzi and Lucas Torreira in the pivot, Mesut Ozil, Aubameyang, Martinelli, Nicolas Pepe. Now, yeah, man, I feel bad leaving Lacazette out, but I just want to see Martinelli really and truly, that Brazilian flavour, man. That, you know, and I feel Martinelli, at least, he's become, people are knowing about him, but at least Arsenal's kind of an open book for seasons now, and this year Martinelli's the one bit of unpredictability. Like Aubameyang, fair enough, you know what he's about, but he's going to score goals and do a madness. But it's like Martinelli, his youthful unpredictability might prove the difference, or might, you know, catch these experienced defenders by surprise. And his youthful exuberance to work the channels unnecessarily will probably stress out these back 3, because they'll be like, who's this little bugger just chasing lost causes and tracking back? Now, obviously, he's still learning, but I feel Martinelli's got to play, man. And I'm in love with that young guy already, man. Obviously, football in terms of a woman I love. But carrying on, people. Obviously, you can like what you like out here. People don't come for me. I'm just a calm-ass YouTuber. But, yeah, man, that would be my lineup. Wow. And that, just like that, it should be done, people. But, come on, man. We're at the end, rude boy. We're at the end, brethren. But like I said, people, that will be my lineup, man. If that's what Wolves are going to go with. Because that's how I kind of roughly want my team shape to kind of discourage them. I want my team nice and high. Proving them to track, because obviously this is what's likely is going to happen in the game. Kind of want Bellerin narrow. I want Bellerin to support, but I want him narrow. Same as Tierney. Pivot have to be switched on, because I'm going to need you lot to help these men out here in the pivot. At fullback, especially if Adama Traore is going to go forward and he gets in 1v1 situations with Tierney. I need a midfielder out there. Even not even just a midfielder, even the strikers, because you see Liverpool did. If you clock what's happening, Aubameyang or Lacazette, and he's gone, but he's not switching. Boss back as well, and then try and make that foul, because that's where that right hand side, Arsenal's left, is where going into the game, when the game's actually played, I hope it's not an issue. But going into the game, it's one I'm thinking about, people. So yeah, man, obviously, the only thing that went wrong in this video is that this thing tried to cut off. And if you can't see it because it's bashed, I apologise. But the king of improv, man. You improvise.